What matters most in life? Importance of courage. Having courage or lacking courage, does it matter? How to live, knowledge and skills needed to create the life you want, the best experience of life possible. And today about courage. We live in this gutless society where most of the people lack courage. They just do things the easiest way possible. And today the easiest way possible is throwing money around, gathering things, throwing a party, building your outside image. All this is so much easier than facing what's inside you, dealing with it, looking at it, and not looking away, not flinching, but just facing it and dealing with it, with your fears, with your nightmares, whatever it is that is really troubling you. Instead of solving it, supposedly, which never solves it, but the easy way, by gathering money, gathering possessions, going on vacations, violence, just kicking, punching out, shooting, sex, drugs, booze, knocking yourself out on a regular basis, just because when this uneasiness and struggle inside becomes too much, then you need to just knock yourself out to be able to sort of go on. And then, but still, even after, you just always choose the easy way out. Almost anybody nowadays can be bribed. How easy is that? Solve everything by just the outside things, throwing the outside things around. And then you're knocking yourself out. That's all there is. So few people in the society, nowadays society, are willing to actually look inside and face what's inside. Face all the fears, troubles, struggles, nightmares, whatever it is that is inside. They lack the courage to do it. They are gutless. And that's why the state of society that we live in is just an absolute disaster. Because it's populated with people who lack courage. It's all there is. And all what we need to do to change it, to change ourselves first in our lives, and then we are able to influence other people the same way by our example and showing how it can be done in a much better way. To cultivate yourself, your life within you, and then make this planet that we live on a much more livable, enjoyable place that it isn't now. For the majority of the people, it isn't. Most people struggle, most people are miserable, they lack guts to face the things that are really a basic problem of life. It is not a lack of money, it is not a lack of booze, a lack of drugs, a lack of holiday vacations, a lack of cars. It is not that. It is a lack of connection with what's inside. It is a lack of courage to face inwards, to look at what's inside, to what causes the uneasiness, what causes the nightmares, what causes the troubles inside. And deal with it. Deal with it. Don't look away. Don't postpone it. Don't get outside things instead, because it's not going to solve it. It's just an easy way out. Everything nowadays is an easy way out. It's totally gutless, always the easiest way. Never, ever summoning up the courage to dig in, to look inside where the real problem lies, and to face it, to deal with it, no matter what it takes. There is no courage for that. It is just an easy way out. Fast food. Everything needs to happen straight away. Everything. You need to become wealthy straight away. You need to knock yourself out straight away. You need your image, your outside self-image has to be the best straight away in a minute. And you spend enormous amounts of time and money and effort to build your outside image and then maintain this outside image, which really has not much to do at all with you, who you are, your life inside you. And that's a disaster. That's a disaster that's already happening everywhere you look. We can, just really cover our eyes and look away and look whichever way. But nowadays it's hard to look away, because wherever you look, you can see that the things are not going well, that we're not, as a society, as this the human race that is populated this planet Earth is not going in the right direction. We lack the fundamental courage to deal with things that we really need to deal with, and that they are inside. We need to look inwards and deal with that. And stop wasting time and effort and everything else and building all this fiction about the outside things, about the outside possessions, about the gathering of everything that is outside us. It is not going to make any fundamental difference to how you feel inside you. It is just going to make things worse, because you're just gathering things that are not needed. And whatever is not needed, it just makes things inside worse. It throws you more and more out of balance with the fundamental laws of life, nature of life, as is. You go against it and you suffer the consequences. But you see, this is this gutless society that we live in, a disaster that we're building more and more and more with years. We're just, really speeding more and more in the direction of some sort of a self-destruction, when all is needed is really just summoning up the courage, the guts, the balls, grow the balls to look inside and to deal with what is there, the uneasiness there, the struggle there, the nightmares, the fears, the anxieties, whatever it is there. Face it and deal with it. And once you do it and it can be done, then everything else will open up in ways that you cannot even imagine. There will be no need to gather more and more and more outside possessions. There will be no need to knock yourself out. There will be no need to wait whole week to be able to party, because your whole life will become enjoyable, livable, something worth getting up in the morning for. To do that, to find the knowledge and the skills and to start practicing them in everyday life. Follow channels like mine where I talk a lot about that, how to connect with the life inside you. I also leave a lot of names of people who have YouTube channels and videos who show you the way in the same direction, and also drop some programs that you can use. There is a way, but we need to start with ourselves by looking inwards and changing that first, and everything else will actually change the consequence of that for the better. It cannot really get much worse. It can only be just a total destruction before we do anything else. But there is a way. And grow some balls. Summon a courage. Courage, it feels so good. It's so great to be courageous. It's one of the best feelings in the world. Talk to you soon. Bye.